Kodak.
Poppers, Kendrick Lamar, my dude Rambo.
All hustle.
Yeah.
All hustle is all hustle. Absol. All hustle is all hustle.
Rambo Hustle with the Hip Hop Report again, once again, talking about Kodak Black, The Blessing, another artist that I feel like is just reluctant. He's never trying to chase a single. He's gonna make the music he's gonna create whatever he is feeling at the moment. I don't know who told Kodak to put out 26 records. Maybe he's being managed by the same guy that's managing J. Cole. I have no idea. But even in the midst of that, I don't think he misses as often as you would expect. I mean, again, I think if you like Kodak Black, and I think this happens with a lot of major artists, that once you love an artist and you love their voice and you love what they do musically and sonically, then it's just a matter of you consuming it, you know? And of course, that's going to make it harder for new fans to come in. But, you know, with 26 records, you're giving us enough to where I'm going to go through this and find this. Now, it has taken me a while to dive into this album and dissect it in a way that allows me to enjoy records in a more in-depth way. I think these reviews eventually will dive into a little bit more of the lyrical aspect, production aspect. But when you're giving me 26 records, it's kind of tough for me to really detail out a lot of the things that I want to talk about, because I do feel like in some capacity, I only have so much time. Now, I do have some specific things about this record that I really enjoy. Again, the fact that he doesn't seem like he's contriving himself to create a single, but at the same time, he has records like Carrie P that allow you to hear a more commercial sound. And to me, that's where R&B singers really come in and allow Kodak to step away from having to do those choruses and just focus on his verses, while the singer really carries the load on what is the catchy part of the record. Now, with that being said, it's not that he can't do hooks, right? Because, you know, even something like Kumbaya towards the end of the record, to me, it's, even as I almost took it off my selections, but as I was listening to it, man, it's just, Kodak has the ability to give you his pain in his delivery, in his voice, like the way that he says things and how he sings. It's like, even though he's not a singer by trade, you know, or better or worse with Friday, you know, you're able to hear his emotions very vividly through his vocals and his delivery. And I think that's one of his really strong points as far as an artist, is the ability to give you deep music that isn't slow. It's not boring. You're not falling asleep to it. It's stuff that really gives you that perspective. You know, I think there's still a lot of questions, and a lot of people try to say that Kendrick is a hypocrite because how can you stand for this and say that you're this, which, by the way, he never says. That's something that the fans have put on him. But then go work with an artist like Kodak Black who does this, and this is, you know, but that is literally what the point of that collaboration is to show you how two people from completely different walks of life can still be on a record together and create something with meaning and value. You know, something that intricately puts at the forefront both of these experiences and creates a juxtaposition between those two that allows you to see, even though we're different, look how similar we actually can be. So with that being said, I also really enjoyed I'ma Be Cool. I got a sense of like resentment on I'ma Be Cool. I felt like there was some animosity within this record, obviously, because he's saying, I want to kill that boy, but I'm gonna be cool. I don't know who he's talking about. I know that Drake stole his flows. I know that it's been rumored that Drake took out X, and I know that Kodak and X were cool. And I think that there's something in this record that makes me feel like it lives in that space. It lives in the tension of that scenario. Now, I really like most of all Peter Roll featuring Al B. Al. That's probably one of like the most gritty, like hard rap records. And I like Loitering. Loitering, I thought was really cool concept. As far as the concept of loitering and what he is talking about on the record, even on I'ma Be Cool, man, it's something that I've learned when I lived in Georgia. I lived in Savannah for a while, and I learned that, you know, specifically in the South, man, people like New Yorkers talk a lot. In California, they don't talk as much, but you'll run into a variety of people. People in the South are generally not super talkative. They kind of keep to themselves. There's a Southern comfort that comes with a certain Southern humility. And, you know, it's these cats from Florida that they won't tell you that there's beef until the beef goes off. And so that's the vibe that I get from Kodak, where I think he has this persona that's friendly, but like you can tell from his demeanor and who he is how he carries himself that he's a grimy dude. And I think because of that is where his respect comes from. Like, you're not going to like run into Kodak and talk to him sideways, because even though he seems friendly enough, you know, you can't get comfortable enough to actually like talk to him sideways. Now, I really enjoyed Idols Turn to Rivals, because I think that's such an incredible concept, not just for Kodak, but in the industry in general. And they always tell you that don't meet your idols, because they'll tend to disappoint you, you know? And so to me, that record was very poetic, you know, as an artist that isn't always considered lyrical and isn't always considered the most poetically inclined, Kodak still is able to give you lyrics and content that really manifests his reality and allow you to see into his world, even if it's just for a second. You know, with that being said, Bodymore, Murderland, that one's tough too, man. So again, you know, I think there's a lot of really good records on here. I believe I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 10 records out of 26 records. So to me, that's a really good percentage point, especially for an artist that isn't proactively trying to give you commercial radio friendly records. He's giving you his reality today, and you can take it or leave it. And that's why I really appreciate Kodak Black, because he doesn't have to do that. And most artists wouldn't. Because by doing that, he's sacrificing the potential that you're going to consume his music because it doesn't appeal to you, or maybe it makes you feel uncomfortable, or maybe it's not bouncy enough, or it's not catchy enough. Kodak doesn't care about none of that. So with that being said, Kodak the Blessing, out now, available everywhere. Ramble Hustle with the Hip Hop Report. We've been doing a lot of recording tonight, so I'm going to take a break from this, and we will gather ourselves forward, and we will talk more tomorrow. Make sure you follow us at the Ramble Hustle Podcast on Facebook, as well as on YouTube at The Hip Hop Report. YouTube.com/The Hip Hop Report. Available now everywhere. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok for updates and new clips and topics.
Gang, music, breaks, these are the breaks. Music, break, these are the breaks.